Good afternoon. Thanks for coming in this afternoon. First, I'd like to extend my thank you to the judges of the Vanderburgh Superior Court for their unprecedented hearing that occurred in April and for their thoughtful deliberation on the issue at hand. In a unanimous decision, the judges of the Vanderburgh Superior Court ruled that the City Council does not have the right to encroach upon a mayor's appointment authority that's already spelled out in state law. I think it's important to point out throughout this process, despite our disagreement, we have respected the City Council's intent by replacing non-city residents with city residents. Our administration appreciates everyone who's agreed to serve on any boards and commissions. When the Council rejected our administration's legal opinion that the ordinance was overreaching and subsequently voted to override our veto, our administration was forced to take legal action to rectify the matter. As mayor, I have a duty to enforce the laws of the state of Indiana, and after being advised by legal counsel that the residency ordinance was a violation of state law, we felt there was no viable alternative other than to challenge the validity of the residency ordinance through the judicial process. And the petition for statutory determination was filed, and the hearing was in late April, and the ruling today. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Did you have an issue with the residency requirement for all the boards and commissions, or just the ones that are created by state statute?
We felt the council was overreaching in its ordinance. The ordinance that was initially proposed, we had no issues with. But at the last minute on the council floor, if you recall back in December, they made, or January, whenever it was, they made a last minute amendment on the floor that we felt made the ordinance overreaching.
So if they put forth an amended or a different ordinance which just applies only to the city boards and commissions, which Mr. Dex said today they're going to do, you don't have a problem with that?
No.
Are you going to, in the case of the state boards and commissions, are you going to seek reappointment of some of the people who got?
No, as I said, first of all, it's very challenging to get people to agree to serve on boards and commissions. We need people who are interested in specific boards. We need people who are willing to commit the time and the energy to do so. So I think there were approximately 58 specific positions on boards that had to be replaced because of the residency ordinance. We've replaced all but 8, I believe, in that time. All those appointments have specific terms, and we certainly expect that all those appointments will fill out their terms and perhaps even more.
Any idea what this process has cost the city?
Marco?
We first put that into context.
Step up there.
We told the city council before they passed the ordinance the first time that there were problems with it from a statutory standpoint. They chose to ignore that advice and passed it. They overrode the mayor's veto when we told them again that what the problem was with the ordinance. So had those actions not been taken, there would not have been any funds expended whatsoever in taking this action that we've taken today and that the judges have decided. Having said that, we are in the process of trying to come up with a number as to what it did cost, and we'll provide you with that information as soon as it's available.
I think just to be really clear, you know, from the beginning when we decided to go down this path, this was not about city residents versus non-city residents. This is about really trying to enforce the law, making sure that the laws that are on the books or passed are followed. And based on the advice of our council, we just felt like what they passed encroached on a mayor's authority that was already spelled out by state statute. So again, appreciative of the judges' deliberation on this, and we'll move forward.
Is there a concern that there might be another ordinance passed that's kind of similar but tweaked out?
I would not want to speculate what the council would do. Clearly, the judges of the Vanderburgh Superior Court have ruled and whatever they do in the future, I suspect will be done with this ruling in mind.
You used your veto, sorry, you used your veto powers on the Residency Ordinance was first passed, correct?
Correct.
That's a very rarely used tool by mayors in Evansville. Are you willing to use that power again? As mayor, is that something that you're gonna, you keep in your toolbox, so to speak?
I never really thought about whether I would veto an ordinance or not. We used the veto tool in this case because we thought they were overreaching. We did it with a great deal of thought. I suspect that if there was another ordinance that was passed in the future, we would use the same deliberation before we made a veto. But it's in a mayor's tool, in an executive's toolbox for a reason. The fact that we've only used it once in 3.5 years tells you that we take the use of it very seriously.
Mayor, I know you said, the people that lost their positions, if you will, most of them have been filled, they're going to fill out those terms. Have you heard from any people that were directly affected by this initial ordinance? Have they, spoken to you? Are they happy? Are they, have you heard?
Certainly, once the changes were being made, several people raised their hand and expressed disappointment that they were being replaced. But this is, as you say, breaking news, so we haven't heard from anyone today.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.